Good morning everyone. In this video we will see together how we will associate or project IONIC to Firebase. So Firebase, what is Firebase? It's a set of hosting services created in 2011 for any type of application. It offers to host in OSQL and in real-time databases, content, social authentication, notification, or services such as a real-time communication server. Here is how it looks like. You have the possibility to log in to create your account with Google. If you need to create your account, I will let you do that. You can pause and create your account on the site. I'm going to log in during this time. I'm going to log in as well. And here you are in this home page. We will go to get started. We have two possibilities, either to create a project or to consult the documentation. We're going to look at it. We can click on Learn the Fundamentals of Firebase here, and we have the different modules right here. For example, so we first step with Firebase depending on your functionality, so an application, a game, a server, a framework, even set up projects by programming. You have the possibility to manage your projects with the frame platforms and frameworks. You also have to protect the project resources with API-check or even prototype and test with emulator suite. So we are going to look at first steps with Firebase. Adding Firebase to an application. So we're going to take a web type application. And we have several steps in this project. We have step number 1, which is to create a Firebase project and register your applications. To do this, you need to create your project by adding an object. So you have all the necessary protocol. It's very well detailed. Then you will have to install the CDK and initialize Firebase. So to do this, you will have a command to enter in the console. Simply also import this code in the right file. It will be a TypeScript file that I will explain in parallel. Also, step number 3. So Firebase access in your application to be able to actually read and interpret all that we have done. So through variable that we will put in our page.TypeScript. And the last step is the use of packaging for the reduction of the size. So it will be for well paginated your app. We are going to directly access the console. We are going to create project. You are going to have to enter the name of your project. I'm going to put, for example, IONIC Firebase. As you notice it, the name is already taken. This is why it proposed me another name associated with my project. I'm going to add quite simply Ether. I can continue. Thereafter, we continue. We select an account by default and we can create other projects. Here, our creation of project is in progress. We find ourselves in a few moments. Our project is ready, so we can continue. And now, there are 3 possibilities available to us. We have the possibility of launching our project, either iOS or Android or web application. We will choose web applications. For the name and nickname of the application, you do as you see fit. I will put Firebase. We record the application. After that, we propose you to install Firebase. So you have the possibility to do it either via a command or via a script. So I can do it directly via the command. We go on your folder. For example, it's a folder that I call Firebase that I create. We go on our corresponding folder of a project We enter the command and here it's installing. We find our service in a few moments after downloading. Once the installation is done, we can create an IONIC project. To do this, we will enter the command IONIC start. So you enter the project you want. I will call it Firebase, Angular, always blank, right away. Once it's installed, we can enter the folder, and now we will enter the command IONIC gpage modal that will automatically generate us the model page in our project that we will need to link with Firebase. Once it's done, we will also take the service folder with the command IONIC gservice space service/data. And at this point, we can do ng-add @angular/file, which allows us to add a new project Angular. You select the authentication in order to authenticate directly on your Google account, so it's my account. For example, we see that I have created this project, so it's Firebase IONIC FR. Now we can launch an IONIC serve to get our page. So here is our basic page that we have the template of departure. Now we will be able to modify it. So here is after our commands made, our folder model with all our files and also our folder services that we have downloaded via our command line. Now we will find our service on our project folder. Here we are going to directly launch a web application. To do this, we must name it. I'm going to name it Firebase. We are going to record the application. We have installed Firebase and there is no problem. We are going to recover the API and we are going to put in our folder environment, more precisely in the file environment.ts, and we insert just below by putting Firebase double dot So here is the API. The little problem is that I can't read the double quotes, so I will put simple. Here I was able to replace them. We will move on to the next part. Now we need to go to the app module.ts file and we need to add imports. We have imported the environment, so we have also put the path and the free structure accompanying, so in the environment file to find the file indicated, but also the file store space that we will create via the database. Also in the MG model, we will add provide Firebase app precisely to prepare our file to be able to recover the elements in our database. Concerning the database, we will be able to create it. To do this, we will click on File Store Database and we will go to create a database. So we will start in test mode because if you do in production mode, you will have problems concerning the security. So start in test mode. By default, the security rules in test mode allow all users with the reference of your database to display. We click on next. I will take a server at the level of Europe. Activate. Here is our database has been created and now we'll try to associate it with our project. To do this, we will need to go into the services folder. We have a file called data.service.ts. We will make the following modification. Here are the modifications. So I brought imports at the level of Firestore, collection data. So all this via the folder Angular Firestore, so that it can retrieve our database and also all the methods that we will need for our project that I'm going to present. So if you need to write, I will let you pause in this file. We are going to move on. We are going to go to home.page.ts. Here is what all of its functionality looks like that will be formed on our HTML page when clicked. So the next feature in the fact of adding a note, you will have the possibility of inserting a text note. So here is the code. I leave you the possibility of putting on pause if need be. Now we are going to pass to the HTML page. So in our HTML page, we're going to replace this code. So here is the entirety of our code, so it's not very long. The longest thing is to create the functionalities. So it's simply the same as the to-do list. That is to say that we're going to have a form where inside we will have a field on which we will be able to write dynamically a set of characters that will be retained by our console, and the aim of the game is that our database will retain the characters that we have entered, so recorded. So no surprises. As we have done on the to-do list, we are going to apply the click method, which will take up the add node function that we have put on our page.home.ts, which is found here, and which will allow us to take back all the fields that we have filled in. Now we can test our page. So here is our page with our title. Simply we will inspect the element in the console. We will add a node, so the nodes, for example, sport, make abs, abdo, and we will add it. The element is selected, so we'll look more in details in our data page. We can see that this one has been taken into account in our database with our text, do, abdo, and our title sport. Here we have been able to associate our IONIC project with our Firebase database. So that's it for the videos, and I will see you soon for the next video.